Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're all doing okay. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Spread the word, people, spread the word. I'm off to the Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, or should I say Tyson Fury press conference in about an hour. Dillian Whyte won't be there, which is super disappointing. It really is super disappointing. Look, he's clearly still going through something with the WBC, that legal situation, hence why he said nothing about this fight. Nothing. I mean, this is a huge fight and Dillian Whyte hasn't said anything, but I don't know why. I just hope that he would have been here today for this. Like when I spoke about this fight a couple of months ago, like part of the sell for me, and look, it's going to be a good fight regardless of all the build-up, but part of the sell was the build-up. It was the first press conference. I was selling it with, oh my God, we might get to see Frank and Eddie Hearn, and then obviously Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte and maybe Shane Fury and Dean Whyte, who've spoken about a fight before. And I was like, oh my God, this press conference is going to be incredible. We're going to get the stare down. Dillian Whyte, we know how crazy both of these guys are. Anything could happen. And now that's just flat. Nothing. I mean, look, I still get to see Tyson Fury, which is always good. I've never spoke to him on a professional capacity. I've done it for my YouTube a couple of times many years ago. So it'd be nice to sit down and get some minutes with him for TalkSport and Frank Warren. And I hope Andy Lee's going to be here. Obviously, Andy Lee's part of Tyson Fury's team. He was at the O2 Arena on Sunday, so fingers crossed he's just stayed down. Bob Arum might have flown in, I don't know. But look, it's still not going to take away from the fact that Dillian Whyte won't be there. And look, they're trying to sell, or they want to do 1 million pay-per-view buys. They want to fill out Wembley Stadium, 90,000, which is not easy. Like 90,000 ain't no joke. I feel like you need to sell this fight well. And part of it is the press conference. It's the build up. It's the shows behind the scenes. Like, I mean, is Dillian Whyte even going to do, I don't know if BT Sports are going to do like a semi 24/7 thing. I don't know if they're going to do an all access. Is he going to agree to be part of that? Honestly, I've absolutely no idea what's going on. But yeah, look, I'm heading down there in about an hour. No trains. I've got to drive all the way to fucking Wembley, which is so long. I've already, just driving here, I've seen the amount of traffic's out there because of the train strike. So yeah, I might film down there. In fact, I'll take the cameras and the mics just in case I can get a couple of minutes with Tyson Fury, but that'll be fun, right? Get Tyson Fury on the show. Now that we have about an hour before we go, I thought we'd do a little sort of catch-up video. We haven't done one of those for a while. You know, I did see, I saw AJ on Sunday. Obviously, AJ was at the Lawrence Okoli fight. I love that walkout, by the way, with AJ, Lawrence Okoli, and Israel Adesanya. Obviously, from a Nigerian perspective, it was very powerful to me. There was talk about AJ coming in studio with me and Tony Bellew, but he just wanted to do a couple of little bits behind the scenes and then just watch the fight. And I was thinking about sort of what is now going to happen with Anthony Joshua. Like, we're in this weird space now where he must feel like he's missing out on quite a lot of the big fights. And when I said the big fights, I mean Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. He still fought Usyk, which was a massive fight. But the real big names he's missed out on. Obviously, Dillian Whyte now has got the Fury fight. It's a fight AJ wanted. He missed out on the Wilder fights a couple of times. And now he's kind of on the shelf waiting for this Usyk situation to kind of be resolved. And what I mean by that is obviously Usyk's in Ukraine. And look, that's way more important than boxing. And I'm super proud of Usyk and all the other, look, everyone that's in Ukraine fighting for their country. So the last thing on Usyk's mind is going to be boxing. But on AJ's mind, it should be boxing, right? It should be. And maybe this is a perfect time. And I know it's difficult what I'm going to say now, but maybe it's the perfect time to kind of have an interim fight somewhere or with someone. It doesn't have to be a big name. You know when Tyson Fury drew with Wilder, it was a win for me, but he drew with Wilder. And then he had that Tom Schwartz and Otto Volin while he waited for the Wilder rematch. Could Anthony Joshua maybe do something like that? And look, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not silly here. I know, like, the answer really is no, because an AJ fight simply isn't that simple. But it might be a good time to try and squeeze one in, especially if AJ does have a new trainer. Why not do like a mini camp with a trainer and then have a fight against someone floating around the top 30? I mean, if it's okay for Fury to have, again, the Tom Schwartz and Otto Volin fights, surely it's okay for AJ to do something similar. Remember, AJ's coming off a loss Fury really came off a win. He won that first Wilder fight. And look, this could be the opportunity because, I mean, there was talks. I remember when AJ lost to Usyk, there was talks about AJ fighting Usyk in the rematch in March. Well, March is now. There was some talks again of the fight happening in May. I doubt it. And look, I hope the situation in Ukraine gets sorted and Usyk then comes back and gets into a training camp. But his mind's going to be all over the place. Realistically, Usyk might not fight again until September. So it could be a perfect opportunity, as I'm saying, for AJ to fight someone. Fight someone, get that confidence back, someone that you can blast out. I'm not trying to say just give him any Tom, Dick and Harry, but someone in the top 30 with some sort of name value that AJ will be a massive favourite with. And this could be your first camp with your new trainer. Because again, the idea of me seeing AJ, and it looks like he still doesn't have a trainer, by the way. I mean, he's training with people, but no specific, this is my trainer. The idea of AJ going from nothing to trainer to Usyk still bothers me. It would still bother me with AJ going from nothing to a fight, then Usyk, but it is what it is. We have to kind of work the best of the situation. If AJ can have a fight, a interim fight around May, and then obviously Usyk in September, because I don't think Usyk's going to fight anytime soon. I think, look, even if the war was to be called off, and look, fingers crossed it is called off ASAP, but even if the war was to be called off next week, mentally, his mind must be all over the place because people have lost their lives. This is a crazy situation. So, look, I just think that AJ should use this almost to his advantage, and that sounds quite sickening, but you guys know what I mean. Almost to his advantage, have an interim fight against someone, and then we'll see. You're allowed to have an interim fight if you're coming off a loss, by the way. Off a win, yeah, off a loss, I think it's a perfect time to happen. But look, we'll see what AJ does. Again, we're in a situation where no trainer's been announced, no fight date's been announced. Look, no fight date was announced before Usyk went to Ukraine or before the Ukraine situation. So I doubt any fight date's going to be announced anytime soon. So look, we wait and see what's going to happen. Ryan Garcia, let's read about him. He claims Canelo doesn't know the facts regarding his parting ways with Eddie Reynoso. Ryan Garcia has gone on Twitter, almost a bit of a Twitter. I don't like when people go on Twitter and kind of air their laundry out. But look, he's going to do that because Canelo's almost done it to him. He almost wants to rebuttal it. The issue with, look, and I get some of the stuff that Ryan Garcia is saying. Ryan Garcia is pretty much just saying that Reynoso only looks towards Canelo. Why wouldn't he? It's not that he's just looking at Canelo because Canelo's the pound for pound king or because Canelo brings in the most money. He's looking at Canelo because Canelo looks like he does the most. He fights the most. It could just be how they handle his social media, but it looks like he's always in the gym. Again, I've said this on so many times. I've never seen Canelo out of shape. Really. I think the only time I saw Canelo a bit out of shape was when, I think it was his second fight with GGG and they done some stuff for DAZN, some sort of promo, and it looked like he had a bit of a belly. But that's a rare, let me rephrase that. It didn't have a belly, it just didn't have a six pack. And that's it. Canelo looks like he's always in shape. And if I'm Eddie Reynoso, I want that. I want that. Again, it's not necessarily the money thing. I just want the guy that wants to fight and fight the best and be the best all the time. That's what I want. Don't give me guys that are going to be like, yeah, you know, one fight a year, in and out, yeah, my mind's not right. No. Give me the guy that is on it. And that guy just happens to be Canelo. And that's how it is. If I'm Ryan Garcia, rather than leave the camp because I'm not getting enough time with Reynoso, I'm like, I want to impress Reynoso. I want to you know, I'm in that gym every single day, 7 days a week, as many hours as possible. I want him to think, oh my God, this kid's on it. We got to put some stock into this kid. But Ryan's not done that in the last couple of years. What's Ryan done in the last couple of years? What's he done apart from fucking Boohoo Man adverts on his Instagram? What's he done? He's done nothing. So look, I know who I believe regarding this. Again, look, Ryan's got some points and I understand his point, but for me, who looks the more serious, Ryan or Canelo? And it almost should be the other way around. Ryan should be the hungry one. Canelo's achieved everything. Canelo's bloody, pound for pound king, was trying to be 5 weight world champion, multi-millionaire, an all-time great. He should be the one that's got the feet up and the slippers and the smoking pipe. Ryan should be the hungriest man alive right now, but it almost seems the opposite. So yeah, again, I know who I believe. A bit here on Aram saying Whyte won't attend the press conference with Fury because we wouldn't give upside. Jesus Christ. Joshua, I think he did this interview with Cougan Cassius again on Sunday. I asked for a big stack of dough. This is to step aside. I knew they wouldn't be able to get it. It's a bit weird, that, isn't it? Don't you think? It's like, was you doing it to call their bluff, or did you really want step aside? Like, again, I'm gonna ask Tyson Fury these questions, and hopefully he opens up and give me some real answers, because for Tyson Fury, it must be the whole thing must be a bit frustrating, if I'm honest with you, because we've got a situation now where Dillian Whyte isn't turning up for press conferences. It doesn't look like AJ is fighting Usyk anytime soon. Must be frustrating. The whole thing must be frustrating. Josh Taylor, I watched it back. I won a very close fight. I'll do a rematch at 147. What does that mean? No disrespect to Josh. I mean, that's just almost just empty words, because the fight at 140 had everything. It meant more. The fight at 147, it's not just about beating Josh for Jack Catterall, but say Adam Catterall, for Jack Catterall. It was about becoming undisputed. At 147, you have no belts. You have no belts, and clearly you're the much bigger guy. That statement makes no sense. If I'm Josh, and look, I don't know if the governing bodies would do it. I'm not quite sure how, because obviously there'll be so many mandatories, and I get it. But if I'm Josh, and you can speak to the governing bodies, you can, especially with what's going on in terms of the decision. You have one more fight at 140, and that's Jack Catterall. That's the only way to resolve this. And look, I would still favour Josh to win, but that's the only way to resolve it. You know what you say to your team? The weight cut was tough, I get it, but you know what? A lot of people think I didn't beat him. No, we're not going up to 147 like this. Let's run it back. Let's run it back. What are we now? February 28th? Is that what date is it? I don't know what date it is today. But whatever it is, get that fight on in May, June. That's the only way to resolve all this, by the way. That's it. There's no other way. Like, Jack deserves an opportunity to be undisputed. And Josh should give it to him. Again, let's not forget, Jack, I don't know if he got step-aside money. I'm sure he got something. But Jack allowed Josh to fight Ramirez to become undisputed. Jack did that. Jack could have been like, no, I want my shot. No, I want my shot. And then the opportunity to become undisputed would never have happened. And that's an opportunity that, will forever be attached to Josh Taylor. He became undisputed, obviously, look, for his own talent, but with the help of Jack by saying you can go and fight Ramirez. Now, maybe Josh should look at that and say, you know what, let's just do it one more time. Fuck it. It is tight, but let's just do it. That's the only way, I think. That's just my opinion. Demetrius Andrade accepts terms for the WBO interim title fight with Zach Parker, which I guess means he's coming over here. Obviously, Frank Warren in Queensbury won the bid. That's good, right, to get Demetrius Andrade over here. I do think that Frank needs some fight cards. When was the last Queensbury card? I can't remember. Was it Zach Parker's card? I can't even remember when the last card was. When he fought Marcus Morrison. It's been a while anyway. So yeah, that's a decent card. Let's see what he does in terms of the undercard. But I like it regardless. Frank Warren says he wants no British officials for the Fury Whyte card. It's going to be interesting because you don't want Americans either, do you? I'm not quite sure if that's allowed with a fight over here to have no British judges. I'm not quite sure, because again, the British Boxing Board of Control will have their say on that, but I don't think that's possible. But it'll be interesting. All right, if there's any other bits and pieces, let me quickly go on to Mr. Carpenter's Twitter page, see if he's got anything to say for himself. By the way, you know, I want to shout out. I don't know why, it just came to my mind. October Red. I don't know if you guys know who that is. She's a female boxing reporter. She's been getting around all the shows recently. She's definitely stepped up in the last few months with her content. I just love her interview style. She makes the fighters feel super comfortable, where they're not feeling like they're getting grilled by a journalist. It's more just of a conversation. And I think that's a skill in itself. I don't know if she's had any journalist experience before. But even if, I'm not quite sure, but she's just good at what she does. And she's pushing. The good thing about, the good thing about covering boxing is that there are so many shows. So there is no excuse really not to have a lot of content on your channel, because there are so many shows, there are so many things to talk about. But it's not easy to get up and down the country. You're doing it off your own bat. You know what I mean? No one's paying your travel fare and your hotel stay. You're having to do that. So credit to her. And hopefully it can, obviously look, there are females that cover boxing shows. Obviously Michelle Joy Phelps does it for Behind the Gloves. But we need to see more females at boxing shows, especially in the UK. You go to America, there's quite a few. And look, credit to her for doing what she's doing. No, nothing much. Nothing much about it from Mike Coppinger. All right, guys, that's it. Again, I will take the camera with me to Wembley Stadium. It's a long ass fucking drive, but we got to go there because we got to do some work.